Eala to meet Leylah Fernandez in doubles at Abu Dhabi Open. The 20-year-old Eala is teaming up with Indonesian Janice Tien, while Fernandez is partnering with multiple Grand Slam doubles champion Kristina Mladenovic in this WTA 500 event. Both pairs found themselves in the lower part of the bracket that has second seed Kristina Buxa and Zhang Shuai, and fourth seed Teresa Mihalikova and Olivia Nichols. Eala is set to cross paths with Leylah Fernandez, a Canadian standout of Filipino descent, when they clash with their respective partners in the doubles opening round of the Abu Dhabi Open in United Arab Emirates on Tuesday, February 3. The 20-year-old Eala is teaming up with Indonesian Janice Tien, while Fernandez is partnering with multiple Grand Slam doubles champion Kristina Mladenovic in this WTA 500 event. Both pairs found themselves in the lower part of the bracket that has second seed Kristina Buxa and Zhang Shuai, and fourth seed Teresa Mihalikova and Olivia Nichols. The match is expected to draw a huge crowd, especially from the Filipino community eager to watch two Filipinos on the court. A few months ago, Fernandez expressed gratitude to Filipino fans who are also following her career. "I'm extremely honored that they follow me, that they cheer for me, and that back in Manila, back in the Philippines, they introduce me as their own," said Fernandez, whose maternal grandmother hails from Leyte and her grandfather from Ilocos Norte, in a previous interview. "They send me messages on Instagram and I always greet them. I'm excited to see that. I'm super honored, and I hope one of these days, I can visit the Philippines and enjoy the culture at a deeper level," she added. It was also no surprise that Eala and Fernandez have already bumped into each other in the past, with both players competing in almost the same high-caliber tournaments. "When I see her, we always talk a little bit. It helps that we are around the same age," the world number 23 Fernandez said in a previous interview. "Alex is a sweet girl. On court, the few times I've watched her play, I know she's fierce, she's very determined," she added. Seeded sixth in the singles, Fernandez advanced to the round of 16 on Monday, February 2, after sweeping Chloe Paquette 6-0, 6-3. Eala, for her part, is battling Zeynep Sonmez as of this writing. When paths cross under the desert lights, Eala and Leylah Fernandez at the Abu Dhabi Open. The Abu Dhabi night hummed with a quiet kind of electricity, the sort that lives between the echoes of bouncing tennis balls and the distant whisper of the desert wind. Under the floodlights, the court gleamed like a polished promise. It was here, on this modern stage carved out of sand and ambition, that Eala found herself stepping into a moment that felt bigger than the match sheet clipped to the umpire's chair. Across the net stood Leylah Fernandez. Not just an opponent, not just a name. A mirror of youth, hunger, and the future of women's tennis. For Alex, the Abu Dhabi Open had already been a journey, early mornings, long rallies, and the constant inner dialogue that only athletes truly understand. Coming from the Philippines, she carried more than her racket bag onto the court. She carried expectation, pride, and the quiet hope of inspiring a new generation watching from halfway across the world. Leylah, meanwhile, brought her own fire. The Canadian star moved with unmistakable intensity, her eyes sharp, her posture alive with competitive instinct. She had already danced on some of tennis's biggest stages, but doubles offered a different kind of chessboard, one that demanded trust, intuition, and split-second decisions. This was no ordinary doubles match. It felt like a meeting of trajectories. As the warm-up began, Alex stole a glance across the net. There was something grounding about seeing Leylah there, not intimidating but clarifying. The rallies they exchanged before the match were crisp, respectful, almost conversational. Spin met counterspin. Power met placement. Two players speaking the same language, just with different accents. The first serve cut through the air, and suddenly, the world narrowed to lines, angles, and instinct. Doubles tennis has a rhythm all its own. It's faster, more intimate, more unforgiving. At the net, reactions must be immediate. There's no room for hesitation. Alex felt it in her legs, in her grip, in the way her mind had to stay 1 point ahead of her body. When she intercepted a volley cleanly, the sound off the strings felt like punctuation, sharp and confident. Leylah answered back with trademark grit. She chased down balls that looked unreachable, turning defense into sudden offense. Her communication with her partner was constant, short calls, quick nods, a language built on trust. Alex noticed that. She respected it. Between points, the Abu Dhabi crowd leaned in. They might not have been loud, but they were attentive, sensing the story unfolding. This wasn't just about winning a doubles match. It was about two young women from different parts of the world, both reshaping what the future of tennis could look like. For Alex, every successful play felt like proof, not just to others, but to herself. Proof that she belonged here. That her hours on hard courts and clay courts, her sacrifices and quiet perseverance, were adding up. Facing someone like Leylah didn't shrink her, it sharpened her. And Leylah felt it too. There was no condescension in her game, no easing up. If anything, she raised her level as if recognizing something familiar on the other side of the net, a competitor who would not back down just because the name across from her carried more headlines. At one point, a long rally drew gasps from the stands. The ball traveled corner to corner, net to baseline, until Alex flicked a daring angle that barely kissed the sideline. Leylah smiled despite herself before resetting for the next point. It was the smile of someone who appreciates the craft, even in battle. As the match wore on, fatigue crept in, but so did clarity. This was the kind of contest that leaves a mark, not in the scoreline alone, but in memory. The kind players replay in their minds during training sessions, drawing motivation from the knowledge that they had stood toe-to-toe with excellence. When the final point ended and the net handshake came, there was mutual respect in the moment. A brief exchange of words. A nod. No theatrics, just acknowledgement. For Alex Eala, Abu Dhabi wasn't just another stop on the tour. It was a chapter where her journey intersected with someone walking a parallel path. Meeting Leylah Fernandez in doubles wasn't about being overshadowed or tested, it was about being seen. Seen as a peer. Seen as a contender. Seen as part of tennis's next wave. As the lights dimmed and the desert night reclaimed its calm, both players walked off the court carrying something intangible but powerful. For Leylah, perhaps a reminder that the future is already here. For Alex, a quiet confirmation that she's not chasing the game anymore. She's right in the middle of it.